Okay, so I want to challenge you, right? So I want you to change your psychology, right? So when you think of a bad ad, what do you think of, right? Think to yourself real quick, whatever. When you think of a bad ad, what do you think of? To me, what I think of when I think of a bad ad is an ad that when somebody looks at it, they have no emotions, they don't feel anything, they look at it and they just scroll past it. Because 9 times out of 10, that's what a lot of people are doing to ads, because so many people, like, literally everybody gets bombarded with ads that we're kind of desensitized to them, right? You probably don't even realize how many ads you're seeing a day because you're just so desensitized. So you see something uninteresting, you scroll past it, right? 9 times out of 10, when you're scrolling on TikTok, right? The third video, I don't know if that's correct, but the third video is an ad. I might be incorrect, but you get a lot of ads on TikTok, and a lot of people don't even realize because they're so desensitized, right? So if you're just scrolling, and you just don't give it, like, you just don't care, right? That's a bad ad, right? So I want to change your psychology to creating ads that have a WTF factor, right? This right here, hold on, let me erase this. All right, this right here, this is a good ad. Good ad, right? So you may be wondering, why is this a good ad, right? The fact that, so take away half of the screen, right? Take away half of the screen. How do I do that? You take away half of the screen and just look at this part of the ad. It's a normal ad, right? Who knows what they're promoting? I don't even know what they're promoting, right? It's just, I'm assuming glasses probably. You look at this, just a medium ad. Mediocre. If you're a glasses person, you may look at it, whatever, right? But if you zoom out the full picture and you see this on the street, you're gonna be like, what in the world am I looking at? You're gonna be like, bro, what is this? And notice how I didn't see this in person. I actually seen this on Google. Heck, something was fine. But the fact that I seen this on Google, not in person, means that this ad was so memorable that somebody decided to take a picture and put this on the internet. That's how good of an ad this is, right? And the reason why it makes this a good ad is because it has that WTF factor, right? And what is a WTF factor? Basically, is the fact that you look at an ad and you just have no idea what's going on, and it intrigues you to look at it more deeply, right? So looking at this ad right here, it's kind of like it's a Coca-Cola ad, right? But it has that WTF factor because you look at the person's face and you're just like, what is this? You feel me? But then you look at their face, you're like, what is this? You turn your eyes, bam, Coca-Cola right here. Coke ad, you feel me? So we can back out of this real quick. We can go over into bad advertising examples, right? So I kind of find it interesting, right? So you search bad advertising examples and you see good ads, right? And it's kind of I think the word is a juxtaposition. I don't know if that's the correct term. I don't really know, but because people assume these are bad ads, but the fact that they're so interesting makes them good, right? Say you're looking at this, right? Say I'm a normal consumer and I see a baby drinking 7-Up. Mind you, this looks like alcohol. It looks like an alcohol bottle being drinking or fed to a baby, right? That'll instantly stop the scroll and make me look at it and be like, whoa, what am I looking at, right? That's the whole purpose of an ad, is to get to somebody and stop them from scrolling, stop them from doing whatever they're doing in their day and be like, what is this? What are they doing? Maybe not what are they selling yet. Obviously, it determines what you're trying to do, but the fact that you stop somebody what they're doing in their everyday life to take a second of their day and look at your ad makes it good, right? So this right here is a good ad. Mind you, bad advertising examples, but in reality, this is a good ad. Interesting, right? So look at this right here. Now hiring. This is interesting. If I'm a normal person, I'm like, whoa, this looks like a rope or something like that. Got my attention just like that. Oh, I look under. Bam. They're advertising for a benchmark, right? Look at these, right? This is an ad for men. This is gonna stop the scroll, right? We can keep going. Look at this, bro. Like, come on, bro. What is this? Like, generally, what? That's the whole. This is the whole purpose of marketing, is to get somebody and make them be like, what am I looking at, bro? That is generally the whole point of marketing. Look at, like, come on, bro. 10 examples of advertisement. I don't know what this is, but the whole fact that this is classified under bad advertising is insane to me, because this is a good ad. This makes me look at it and be like, what in the world am I looking at? And I read, oh, this is Advil. Bam. Simple like that, right? So that's the whole purpose, right? This is what we're thinking on right now. Our whole purpose when we're creating ads, you want to change your psychology to create ads that have that WTF factor, right? And you may be wondering, how do I do that, right? There's a couple of things that you can do, right? So we can write WTF factor, right? So there's a couple ways to do this, right? So for one, you could have an insane graphic, right? Something like this, right? Actually, this isn't an insane graphic, but it's an insane placement, right? That's one of the big things, right? Placements. So going back to this one right here, right? Going back to this ad, this is an insane placement ad, right? The reason why I say it's insane placement is because, like it says this is an ad for men, but in reality, it's selling a women's product, right? That is just, it's just kind of a displacement, right? So, but it works, obviously, you know. So, that's what I'm saying. You want some sort of placement that's going to be different, that's going to stand out to the customer, that's not normal, right? That's something. Number two, right? You're gonna want to have some sort of graphic that's eye-catching, right? If you, my best thing, right? This is probably the best thing that I started to do is like I will make an ad and I'll look back at it and then I'll be like, oh, does this have a wow factor? Like if I'm scrolling, will I be like, what? Like would I be shocked or something like that? Just would it gain my attention? You as an advertiser, you as a person creating the ads, would this gain your attention? That's one of the best ways to think about it, right? Because if it wouldn't gain your attention, why would it gain someone else's? Simple as that, right? And you know, I'm gonna start doing that a lot more with the ads I'm creating because it's genuinely, it's so simple, but not a lot of people do that because like we're in an age of AI, right? Everybody's using AI. They're just printing out ads, but a lot of ads don't have that wow factor. So you're just kind of wasting your money. You feel me? Like you're spending on ads, they're not converting, they're not doing anything. You're just wasting your money. So whatever you're selling, you know, start implementing a shock factor or something like that. That's the best way, but like some sort of shock factor to get somebody to be like, what am I looking at, right? And then the very last thing, we're gonna want to have, that's weird. For the very last thing, right? Okay, and the last thing that we will talk about is the third thing that makes a bad ad good is offers, right? So offers is one of the biggest things when you're selling any sort of product. This is assuming that you're selling a product, right? This will probably apply to you. If you're not selling a product, then this does not apply. But in your bad advertising, right? You know, people, they make ads, but sometimes they have ads with no offer. And this could be a good thing or this could be a bad thing, right? Because for one, a good hand, or oh, let's start with the bad, right? A bad hand is somebody sees the ad, they're like, oh, this is interesting. Okay, cool. I'll get back to this someday, right? Whatever. But a good ad, technically a bad ad that makes a good ad, is if it has a good offer on top of a WTF image, right? A WTF image, something like this, right? If you have an image like this with a good offer on there, then that creates a good, and it makes it a good ad because you're already getting somebody's attention, right? Because they're looking at it like, what is this? And then, like for example, like look at this, right? So say I'm the Coca-Cola marketing team, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what they're called. I see this image, right? I'm like, whoa, I see this big old image on a truck. I look, I see a Coca-Cola bottle, and then I say, bam, look at this. New flavor. Buy now, right? Okay, so this may fly over some people's heads, right? But this will be a banger, right? The reason why I believe this will be a banger, right, is because for one, we have their attention on this crazy image right here. We look to the left, we see Coca-Cola. We look down and we see new flavor, buy now. Bam, we gave them our attention. We already gave it to them. Their bad ad just got my attention because it was bad. And now I'm looking at the offer. And now I'm exposed to the offer, and now I'm more inclined to buy because I heard the offer, right? As long as your offer is good, then you may get some conversions, right? So, like I said, very, very, very simple video for you guys. Just start changing your psychology, bro. Like sometimes a bad ad is not that bad, bro. Just think of it like that, right? So when you're making your creatives, right, try something different. Try to make something that looks crazy, something that looks funky, and just see what happens, right? Make sure to put an offer with it, you know, so you still get conversions, but put that WTF factor in the ad, and let's just see what happens. Talk to you later. Okay, see y'all.